Okay, here's a video I didn't think I'd have to make, but here's an update now. Now keep in mind, in this opening shot, I socketed the PPU by mistake in the CPU slot. So that chip that's currently in circuit is wrong, so just disregard that. I was having issues with some games not playing, so I thought maybe I did something wrong with the mod, but the image was still working, the board was functioning normally. So I really was perplexed. I didn't know what was wrong, and I'll show you that some games play. I want to say maybe 90% of the games that I tested played, only a few of them didn't. And some of them were like first party, like Scat. Now this is not a European game, this is a North American game. This wouldn't play, this Repro wouldn't play. Now this game I got from AliExpress, so I didn't expect this one. Like if this was the only game that didn't play, I wouldn't even bat an eye. I would just assume that this doesn't work on the top loader for whatever reason. But this wouldn't play, and I had this European cart that didn't play. Now I don't know if this is still gonna play. I have yet to test it. But on the front loader, this played flawlessly. The top loader, it didn't. So that was one thing. And then I had a bunch of games. Now, my brother and I, over the weekend, we played through Monster in My Pocket all the way through. It's not a hard game. We played for about, I don't know, 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours. And everything went smoothly. So I couldn't understand why some of the games would play and wouldn't play. The games are clean, they work on front loaders. So what I did was I started taking things apart, and I got to the point where I socketed the CPU. Once again, that chip in socket is not the CPU. And lo and behold, that CPU, I still have it here, and I'll show you. Which one is it? This is the PP. No, this is the CPU. This one in here is the one that's in here. That was originally in here, and it doesn't work. And the chip in my hand is also a PPU. So what I did was I socketed the PPU in the slot for the CPU by mistake, and then troubleshooting, I discovered it later on and I reversed it, and luckily no CPUs or PPUs were damaged in the process. Okay, so I know that this shot isn't so great, but I just wanted to demonstrate something real quick. So I have the original PPU in and the CPU, well, CPU and PPU in. This is the one that these two chips were originally on this board. So I'll put in, crash the Street Boys Challenge, pop it in, and now since everything is hooked up and I don't have an RF signal, RF modulator in the back, what I'll do is I'll take the center pin of the composite of a composite jack, standard composite, and I'll probe the 21st pin on the PPU. So the 21st pin on the PPU is the one closest, the pin on the PPU closest to the power and reset switch. And what I'll do is for ground, I'll use an alligator clip to just probe the heat sink here. That'll give me a ground. And what I can do is I can turn this on, and then I'll probe the first pin, just make sure not to hit 2 pins, and then I'll ground it with this. And as you can see, wait, I know the picture is not stable image. Come on. It's working. Now it's not a stable image, but it is working, and it'll give you an idea that the console is running. But if I were to use, now if I swap this game for this one, now this is a Repro cart like I said before, I pop it in. Now this is brand new, the pins are clean, they work on front loaders. This game works on a front loader. So then I'll turn it on, same thing, I'll probe the 21st pin of the PPU, and then I'll ground it, and I'll just get a black screen. So now you know, it could be a faulty Repro cart, obviously. Maybe Repros aren't compatible with top loaders for whatever reason. Then I'll use this game. Now this is a North American game, it's not a PAL, it's not anything else. It's original, the board is authentic. Pop it in. Same thing, power it. First pin of the PPU, the 21st pin of the PPU. It almost comes in with an image. And I'll ground it, and I'm only getting it a green image, or like an unstable. And this, obviously this image is more of a distorted image, it's not going to be great at all. But even with this board, the NESRGB, I still got a black screen for scat and a black screen for this. But other games, let's see, for instance, Moon Ranger. Now Moon Ranger was a game we played originally, and it did work. Let's see if it works still. Powered on. Same thing, first pin, ground. And the image is really horrible, but it is there. It's not stable at all, but you can see that the game is working. So now, I know this shot is horrible, but what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take out this CPU. Let me actually unplug it, discharge the cap. I'm gonna take out the CPU. Which one is that? I got this CPU on hand. Let me see if I could do that right now. Need my screwdriver. Now I learned this technique of probing the 21st pin off of GameTech's channel. Years ago I saw his video, and that was helpful. I still remember that all those years, all these years later. So yeah, he was my favorite at repairs. He was my favorite at repairs. He just popped something out of a box, an eBay listing, and start messing with it, and he would get him to work. I really would have preferred to get in high def NES, but they don't make those anymore. So I pop out the CPU. I'm gonna put this one in. Now I did socket this. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I socketed with the dual wipe. So if this CPU ever goes bad, I can always replace it. Now I gotta make sure everything is cool. Alright, socket that. Power this up. Let's see. Let's go with scat. Now scat wasn't working. It's giving me a black screen. Same thing, I didn't clean it. It's not like I'm cleaning the cartridge and it's working. Trust me, I've been at it for hours trying to get it to work. So I probed 21st pin on the PPU, and we get a black screen. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on. I could have sworn this was definitely working earlier. Wait, did I swap the CPU or the PPU? Or is this CPU bad too? Hold on, give me a second. Okay, so that CPU was also giving me trouble. It was intermittent. I know for sure that this one works. So let me pop it in here. Make sure the power's off, everything is off. Put this in. Good. Now we're gonna let's try this game. This game was also a black screen before. Let's turn that on, and boom, it comes up. It's actually pretty clean for a terrible signal probe like that. Now scat is the one that's giving me the most trouble. So let's see. Seems like it's trying to come in. It's an unstable picture, but it's definitely there. Let's see if it kicks in. It's a super unstable picture. Oh. Yeah, this one just doesn't have the sync ability. I mean, I can reset it. Okay, there it is. It's there. It's just it's out of sync. As you can see. Alright, so I know that CPU is good. This CPU just wasn't doing the trick. It wasn't working with SCAD or this homebrew. Alright, so now I can put the NESRGB back in its place and redo everything. Now since these wires were kind of short before, I redid these wires since I had to open this up. And I redid the audio wires. But once I put this back together, I'll see how everything turns out. Okay, let's test some games. I got SCAD here. I obviously haven't resoldered the power and reset. I mean the reset and the palette wires. But I'm just gonna test some of these games before I do that. And it's working. So let me get a controller. This was so frustrating. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if there was the RGB board. Some games would play perfectly. This game wouldn't play at all. Come on. Now it's freezing.
You must destroy them.
Oh,
Earth is counting on you. Good luck.
Oh, they got sound in this game. Oh, this game is so good. I remember playing this once. I think it was on an emulator. I remember this. Oh, this game is... There's a bomb. There's a... Yeah, this is just through composite. Oop. Oh, I gotta play this later. Alright, but besides that, let's see if the homebrew is running. I got this. I knew it was gonna work. Okay. Let me see. I have one more test too. I remember I have a PAL multi-card here. This worked on front loaders. It might not work on this either. Yeah, this was having troubles on front loaders too. So I don't expect that to work. Like this has trouble with a lot of consoles. Let me see if this game still works. Come on. There's a PAL console. There's a PAL game. This game works. Some PAL games still don't work. Man, there's nothing I could do about that. Obviously this one works. And that's about it. Okay, so I was testing this game. Apparently it was just dirty. Because it works too. Like, see how it's like finicky, it's just dirty as hell. Let's see if I remember. Oh, let me start from scratch. I remember when I got to the race. Come on now. There was an issue when I got to the race. Let's see if it solved the problem. I mean, probably not. It might have something to do with sync, but let's see. Come on, dude. Okay. Now this game is actually like a stick shift car. If you ever drove a stick shift car, you gotta accelerate. What's the accelerate button? You put in the first gear, you accelerate, it gets to high RPMs, you let go of the accelerator and shift. It's super unique. Oh, it's working. Wait, hold on. If I get far behind, yeah, see, I'm still getting interference. But I just suspect that that's the game itself. It's just with the other CPU, with the other CPU, I was getting the same image. So it might have something to do with the refresh rate from the 60 Hertz to PAL Hertz. Not sure. Let me test that other game. Now this game is finicky with a lot of consoles too. Might be dirty. Let me try it. Okay, yeah, okay, see, it's just dirty games. But I swear, these two games wouldn't work for anything. And I would swap PPUs and it would give me the same issue, the PPU. So I knew the PPU was pretty much good. It had to be another chip on the board. So I was gonna swap everything, but I started with the CPU, and it just happened to be the chip that was correct. I was gonna socket the CPU anyway, just for future servicing. So that's something that I've never. If anybody has an example of this happening in the past, where some games will play flawlessly. It's not like Super Nintendo, where Super Nintendo, you can play some games, but eventually you'll get some graphical problems among pretty much. If you have a problem on your PPU or CPU, no matter what game you have, you're eventually going to encounter a problem. It's hard to explain. I'm not explaining myself right. But the NES is different apparently. Apparently you could. We played through. My brother and I, we played through Monster in My Pocket the whole way through. No graphic problems, no issues at all. And just Scat and the other game, and Abadox. I have a game called Abadox. It wouldn't load either. So some games just flat out wouldn't load. So I don't really know. That's super bizarre. Obviously, you could tell I'm not great at Mega Man. I didn't even know Mega Man was on this card. It's not a bad multi-card, actually. What else is on here? Oop. Rockman, Northern, Mappy, Super Mario, Ice Climber, Hogan's Alley. Warpman. What's Warpman? Oh, see, this is rolling. Oh, no, it's not. What is this? Oh, this. I don't think we have this in North America. This looks like Dig Dug or I forgot the other name of that game. Is that T supposed to be next to him? Probably not. Okay, what else? What else? What else? Come on. Yeah, this card is not playing well. I gotta clean that. Wait, how do you get to the next? Okay, oh. You press A, that's unintuitive. Oh, they got Devil World on here? I don't have to buy the, what's Devil World? I'm thinking of something else, right? Oh, no, I'm thinking of something else. Okay, so I did remove that CPU from the top loader. Top loader's done. It's on the shelf. It's actually in the living room TV. I'm gonna test it more later. But now I want to see if I got a couple of chips here, CPUs, PPUs. I want to test that original CPU. I'm gonna socket this top front loader. It's just a board, and I'm gonna socket it so I can test, easily swap chips out to test to see if they're good or not. So I got this rigged up. I click it, and see, here's the thing. When people say you don't have to cut lockout chips, you don't have to do nothing, it's a dirty pin connector. Well, sometimes the pin connector is clean and the thing is still flashing. It wants to start, but you know, I mean, the pin connector probably isn't clean. But to be fair, it would start. This game would perfectly boot if the lockout chip wasn't resetting me. As you can see, it flashes and it shuts off. So the game is ready to go. It's just, that's why sometimes I like to cut the lockout pin, just for that simple reason. But yeah, I'm sure if I finesse it, try to play with it, I can get it to get steady light. See, it just keeps flashing, and I don't have any more pin connectors on hand. Actually, I might. Here we go. Okay, so now there's no image on the screen, but it's perfect. Come on. There we go. So this thing seems to be working. This console seems to be working so far. I'm gonna socket both the CPU and the PPU, and then I'm gonna test those 3 chips. Okay, I don't know how many of you want to see me socket this or not. You can skip ahead of the video if you don't want to see me solder and desolder these pins. So here we go. First, add some new solder. Okay, it's blobby, it's not pretty, but that'll do. Okay, I reflowed the pins, and now I'll just pull them out. Oh yeah, and look at this. The chip fell out. Chip is about to fall out. Look at this. It's not even being held in place. It's just the size. Like the chips were bent out. The legs were bent out. But yeah, it came out. No damage. Not one through hole was pulled up. In fact, let me move these out of the way. Nothing. No damage to the top or the bottom. The key is, now that I've used this tool for so long, you actually don't want to press all the way down. You kind of want to leave it in the air. You don't want to press all the way down into with the tool head, the nozzle of the desoldering gun. You don't want to press it all the way to the board and try to get a good seal. It's not like that. Once you have enough solder on the through hole, you just lightly, you shouldn't be scraping against the through hole. You just want to just get the center of the pin, swivel it a bit, and pull. You shouldn't have to touch the through hole. You should barely make contact with the through hole. And yeah, they clear out super easy. It looks clear. Now flip it over. Zoom out. Oh, zoom out. See how clear it is. It's probably still pretty good. Pretty good, to be fair. Let me see. Yeah, this chip wasn't as great as the other one. I can immediately tell the way the iron was performing. The desoldering gun was performing. I might have to do this one twice, because I don't want to pull these traces up. Okay, I reflowed the chip. Let's try this again. It's still pretty tight. I don't want to break it. Let me see if I can figure out a solution. Okay, so this thing is holding on by a thread somewhere. I'm gonna try to introduce some hot air here. One side is out. It's just this side here. I don't want to do any more harm. Not that I harmed anything. I'm just saying I don't want to do any harm at all. Let's see. Well, this is hard to get on camera and hard to get a good grip of. Something over on this side here. There it is. It fell out. Now let's see if we have any damage. The way to check for damage is if you look at these pins on the chip, if they're bent or broken, or if there are rings attached to them. If there are rings, that means, now this pin was already, that was the bent pin from factory. I could try to straighten that. But yeah, there are no rings, meaning that all the through holes should still be here. It looks like everything is here. It's a little dirty because of the flux from the solder. I don't see any damage. All the through holes are there. Okay, I got these two slots ready. Let me clean the flux off the bottom here. Now let's get those sockets. Okay, I got the dual wipe sockets here. Let's see if they go in without a fuss. They do. Okay. Now this one. I'm not forcing, I'm not pressing hard. Okay, so they went in relatively easy. Okay, so I'm holding them. And now I need to use a lot of my muscle memory here. Just want to hold them in place. I know it's horrible, but trust me, I just need to hold them in place, and then I can free up a hand. Ooh, my soldering iron is hot on my hand. Okay. I got multiple spots. Alright. Let's zoom in. Okay, not that much. There's good. Get you out of there. I could tilt it a little bit. Let me see if I can get something to hold the board up just to get the light better. That's good. Let's see. Now this is no flux, just straight solder. Don't let anybody tell you that there's a better tip for soldering. This angle tip is the best. Oh, there's like a constant flow you have to maintain. You got to push the solder in and travel at like a certain speed. Nice. Let's get the other side. Nice. Check for bridges and cold joints. Give me a second. Okay, everything is good. Some alcohol. Here's another little funny thing to note. Now you see, there's a really small, you're not going to be able to see this. There's like, you might be able to see it, but there's a slightly small indentation on these chips, on these sockets. It's really hard to see. But yeah, they correspond to the silk screen on the bottom here. You see that notch on the silk screen? So the chip, like I don't know if this is the actual chip that goes in this. I don't know if the CPU or PPU, I have to double check. But see, the chip also has a notch on the edge. So when I put this in, I have to remember that it's not the notch on the socket that counts. It's the notch on the silk screen. So I gotta put this chip in this way, not this way. Okay, so now that I don't mix things up, I marked on the CPU and the PPU. These are the original ones that came from the test bench. As you can see, I cross-referenced these numbers. These numbers on this chip just to make sure I didn't mix them up. And these are for sure CPU and PPU original. So now what I can do is I could pop these two back in and see if the console's still working. Okay, I socketed the two chips in. I cleaned the cartridge connector. So now let's see how effective it is. I put a little solder spool there. You still need to apply some pressure, and it works. So boiling pins to me never worked. I've never tried it, but I don't even want to try it because I know just getting some Dawn dish soap and scrubbing inside the pins, it works every time. So yeah, this console is working. Now the only reason why I'm using this homebrew cart is because it's new and it's the cleanest cart that I have. So it tends to function without hiccups. But I'll try another game. Give me a second. So my camera decided to corrupt one of the video files. So by this point, I'm already trying with the problematic CPU. But it eventually did run. Yeah, this one. Clean games work. Some games don't. Let's go back, do a couple of steps. The repro cart. Of course, this didn't work. This is the CPU that was having issues. This never, no matter what I do, I never got that to work. And this one had like artifacts, like some sort of, oh, it wants to work now. But what? I can't believe it's working now. So yeah, it doesn't work per se. It just crashes. So I mean, I get that logo and it crashes, it won't go any further. So yeah, the new pin connector does read it better, but I can assure you that this game was not, no matter what I did, I never could get it to play. And I put it in, this CPU is just not willing to take this game. And I would get artifacts on the top loader. This one is actually giving me a splash screen. Nothing. This one's actually giving me a splash screen, so that's better than the top loader. But see, I can't. It's just corrupt. Let me see if I can get something out of the repro. This CPU is just not doing it. Oh. Now keep in mind this repro is brand new. There's really no dirt on it. I could try to finesse it. It's solid light, meaning it's making a full contact. It should not blinking. So with enough testing, I know that this CPU is bad. And let me see if I can do one more thing. Let's pop this. This game is running. I know I've been flip-flopping games. It's running, it's clean. Now I'm gonna do one more thing. Put the SCAT card in, shut it. It'll boot garbled mess, it'll boot to that. Won't get past that at all. I tried so many times, believe me. It will just lock up. Not to me. Lock up, nothing. So let me shut this off, unplug this, hit that switch, turn it around. Let me get that CPU out of there. CPU is bad. I know for a fact that this CPU is no good. The consistency among games is unheard of. I don't want to break it. Even though it's bad, I could break it all day, but get some practice at pulling them out. So this chip I'm gonna mark. Oh shoot. I'm gonna mark it bad. Bad. So I don't mix it up. Now I will put in, is this a CPU? It is a CPU. It's a known working CPU. I just tested it. Just straighten out the pins. They bent a little bit. Okay. Put it into the right orientation. Don't bend, force anything. Okay. It's in its place, right orientation. Flip this back around. Plug this in. Put this here. And then it fires up. Give me a second. Does this game not want to work now? Nope. It works. It works. Not only that, I could try it again. I'll pull it out, insert it, seat it, flip it. It starts up first try every time. I don't have to finesse it. It's the same cartridge connector, same board. Fires up. Doesn't get me a black screen. It doesn't give me trouble. Fires up. So yeah, once again, just pull it out, unplug you. I'm not gonna even remove the cartridge, but even still, it didn't give me a lot of trouble. I pulled it in and out, and it eventually did fire up. The cartridge is very clean. Could pull this out. I'm socketing this the same way for both times. I don't want to damage anything this time. I don't want to bend anything. Just want to really conclude that this CPU is bad. Okay, that's the good one. I mean, this is the bad one that I just pulled. No, this is the good one that I just pulled off. Here's the bad one. I marked it. Let me reseat this sucker. Okay. It's set. All the pins, nothing's bent. Flip it around. Plug it up. Make sure everything is connected. Put my little counterweight on here. Blue screen. Now I probably could get the Natsumi logo. There it is. Now let's wait a little bit. Corruption. Let's reset. Come on. Nothing. It won't even get past that. Let's reset, start it up. It's back. Natsumi logo. Give it a second. Freezes up. It locks up every time. Only on that CPU. And now, let's try the repro card. Now the repro card's brand new. This is the bad CPU. I've never booted this repro card ever. Let's do this. It gives me a solid light. It looks like it's gonna boot, and it won't boot. Now let's take the repro card is spotless, brand new board. Just got it yesterday. Remove that. Flip this. This is the last time that I'm gonna pull this CPU out of here, and it's gonna go in the garbage after this. Okay. This CPU is going to go in the trash. Okay, so that's the bad one. Now back to the good one. I'm gonna insert this. Once again, no damage. It's in the right orientation. I'm gonna flip this around. Everything's getting tangled up now. Let's power this. Same thing, repro card. Counterbalance. It fires up. So that's enough to know that that CPU is bad. It fires up without finessing. The other one I'm trying, flipping things around, and no matter what I do, it just doesn't work. And it absolutely doesn't work. Here we go. Another cartridge that doesn't work with the other CPU. Fires up. No finessing, nothing. It fires up. You give it a second. The game fires. So that was what broke my mind yesterday. It broke my brain trying to solve this problem. And I thought that the RGB board was bad. So I'm so glad I solved that. I know this video might be longer. I don't know how much I'm going to cut this to, how long. But I hope this helps somebody. Now I got a test bench. So yeah. Thanks for watching.